Hi everyone, welcome in our channel. Today we're going to talk about fast shipping from China. Yes, you heard me well. We talk about how to ship fast from China. Before we go ahead, remember to subscribe to our channel, leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the video. Before we go ahead, let me remind you what we do. We are an online logistics firm that helps brands, specifically e-commerce brands, to sell internationally from anywhere in the world to any place in the world. If you need some help finding a 3PL, a fulfillment center, or if you just want to know how to enter a new market, you've come to the right place. You can contact us at this email. Moving forward with our topic. So we said we're going to talk about fast shipping from China. So this is something generally related mostly to drop shippers because they use that model. They directly ship from the factories in China to the final customer. Now they use mainly forwarders or postal services. I would say mainly forwarders, and there's a way to optimize that, but at the same time it takes quite some time to get delivered nowadays, especially due to the backlog and shortages of manpower, containers, and so on, space on the air freight, on the planes basically, and so on. So sometimes it may not be enough to just ship with a forwarder that, for example, in 2 days put your packages on a flight directly to the US, because it's then up to USPS and local shipping companies that needs to sort and redeliver your package locally. That, you know, it's really on them, the delay, I would say, or at the origin country where basically we are waiting, for example, for a flight where we have enough space to basically bring your parcel on. So let's think about how we can do that, right? To have fast shipping from China. I would say we will focus on mainly 3 options today. First of all, your factory and the forwarder, basically. So let's say the shipping option that you choose. Second one, the type of courier that you can choose. And third one, from where you can ship. So they're all related pretty much, but there's a little bit of a difference among them all. So let's take the first one. When you find a factory, for example, on Alibaba or anywhere, when you're sourcing factories, you need to keep in mind the location. So it's the same story as a fulfillment center, basically. The location is quite crucial. Why? It's not only the fact that they are cheap, or maybe, yeah, we're in the city center, who cares? What is important is the location and the connection that there is with the couriers, the airports, and so on. If you are in a very good location, because maybe there's the port, but you don't really use containers or ocean freight to ship, but you mainly use air freight, and there's no airport close by, that's not a good location for you, especially if you don't have couriers app close by. So that can be in any city in China, for example, that is relocated somewhere else far from the airports. That's because manufacturer will have less likely, let's say, visibility on flights and space. Everything is based on communication. Maybe they have, it really depends. Of course, whatever I'm saying, it really depends on your case, on your factory and where the factory is, and so on, and the connection, because maybe the factory is far, but they have good connections, for example. So that can still be a good thing, no matter where is the location of your manufacturer. But overall, the location is really important. If you don't have the location, you need to have a network of partners, of options, because the closest you are to the airport, generally the closest you are to courier hubs, and that's where you can better communicate and have a better idea of how much space you have for today to ship your product. So most of the times it takes, I don't know, 2 days or 24 hours to relocate all your parcel, all the orders that you send to your manufacturer or to your fulfillment center in China. Even if fulfillment center, doesn't have to be for drop shippers overall, but let's say that you have either a fulfillment center or you're shipping from your manufacturer, for example, from China. Well, the point is still the same. When you are in a location that is far from courier hubs or far from the courier that you use, even if in the city we have all the hubs that you want, but not the one that you're using, the hub of the courier that you're using, then it's useless, because your parcel is going to be packed and shipped out today, but they need to reach the courier hub first to get the first scan. So it means that if it takes 2 or 3 days to deliver to the courier hub, so for example, if your partner is in Hangzhou, for example, let's say, and it takes some time to reach Shanghai, then, and you're shipping out from Shanghai airport, then, you need to be careful about that too. Like how long it's gonna take to deliver to the courier hub, and then the courier, how long it's gonna take for the courier to put my parcel on a plane. So let's say that it takes 2 days to redeliver locally within China from Hangzhou to Shanghai, and then the courier gets it. And then once the courier gets it, they need to find a flight for you, or they need to reserve the space. But generally, most of the times, there are couriers that reserve the space already for you as soon as you book. You say, okay, in 2 days, this part is gonna get to you. And then the next day, you can already ship it out. Well, they booked the space, but what if you don't deliver in 2 days, They booked for you on the 3rd day, the space in the plane that they can't fill in if you don't deliver. So most likely they get an advance notice, of course, from the manufacturer, but they're not gonna, let's say, rent the space for you in advance. They're gonna provide you the space as soon as they get the parcel. That's most likely what's gonna happen. So in that case, you lose already 2 days, and then you have to wait for the courier to find space on a flight, which right now, for example, is quite tight. And then it's gonna take a flight from Shanghai, for example, after 1 day or a couple of days. In the worst case scenario, it's already 4 days. And then you have to consider that you receive the order, for example, today after the cutoff of pick and pack, so it's going to be shipped most likely tomorrow. So it's already 5 days if you think about it. 1 day to process the order. So some factories, some fulfillment centers take up to 2 days to process the order. So think about it. The worst case scenario would be that it takes 6 days just to put it on a flight, pack it, redeliver, local delivery, and put it on a flight. So for example, as we said, I received the order today. It's already 5 p.m. pretty much, so it's gonna be processed tomorrow. So it's already 1 day lost, and then tomorrow the warehouse or the factory is gonna get your order, it's gonna pack it. If it takes 1 day, good. If it takes a couple of days, generally it's for 24, 48 hours processing, it's already 2 days at the bare minimum. Then they ship it out to redeliver to the local courier. A couple of days, and we're ready for. Then after they deliver to the courier hub, for example, in Shanghai, as we said, then it's going to take maybe 1 day or 2 days. Let's take the worst case scenario, 2 days to put it on a plane, which is most likely what's going to happen in the peak periods, which are the crucial period for you in any case. It arrives within 2 days to the local hub in Shanghai, and then it's going to take a couple of days to basically take a flight, and then it's going to take another day to take the flight, basically, and get to the destination, which in this case, let's take the United States. It's already 7 days. And then you have to consider that the local courier will need to process your package, scan, redeliver in the United States, which is, quite big of a country, and this means that it's going to take more days, which can be 5 days, 4 days, 6 days, 8 days. It really depends also on what? On the agreement that the forwarder has with the destination country. So if they use a, let's think about USPS. USPS has different services. It can be cheap, economy, can be tracked, premium, priority. There are different services under USPS. And the cheaper you pay, the cheaper the service that you also get. So if your manufacturer, your partner in China tells you it's going to be $5, then most likely the destination, it means that the service that they booked is the cheapest one. And there's nothing bad about it, to be really honest, we need, for example, there are brands that need very cheap prices to keep their margin, so nothing wrong about it. Just to let you know that based on the cheapest service that you get, you may also get longest transit time. So it may take 7 days to reach the destination, and then take 8 additional days to redeliver locally in the United States. So just keep that in mind. It will be good to understand the structure. For example, when you ship from China to the United States and use a courier, for example, most likely it's going to be a forwarder, and the forwarder can choose, let's say, may have different services that they are linked to destination country. As I said, USPS, it can be that they choose very cheap, the cheapest one, or maybe the premium one. So and it takes less days. So the transit time really depends on that too. So it's good to understand the structure behind that. But overall, the good thing would be to find a manufacturer close to main airports where you know there's like a courier. You can ask, and the manufacturer especially is going to tell you, hey, look, we are able to deliver to the courier hub in 24 hours, even if we are far away from the airport. That's still good because it takes 1 day, that's fine, but you need to understand how long it takes, because maybe they ship it out, they tell you, oh, it's not being shipped, send it to the courier, but maybe it takes 3 days to get delivered to the hub, so it's not actually shipped yet unless the courier scans the parcel. If your customer doesn't see a tracking number, that's alarming. And if it takes 3 days to get delivered to the courier plus 2 days of order processing within the warehouse, within the manufacturer factory, then it's going to take too long. It's already 5 days that your customer is waiting for a tracking number, for example, for some tracking updates. Just understand the network of your manufacturer and the location. That needs to be a combination, basically. So if you don't have a good location, you have a good network or very good logistic in terms of, okay, how long it's going to take to deliver to the local hub. If you don't have a good network, but you have great facility and great position, location, for example, your manufacturer is in Shanghai already, well, it doesn't matter which connection you have, it's pretty much going to be faster than relocating locally from somewhere else, you know? Second thing would be to relocate your orders to Hong Kong. So what you can do, you can have other partners where your manufacturer, for example, ship to Hong Kong. It's called cross-docking, where you just simply ship from, let's say, I don't know, from China to Hong Kong, and nobody touches the parcel because they're already packed. We just need to relabel, for example, so attach the new label from the courier. That's because if you ship from Hong Kong, then the country of origin is different. If you ship from China itself, like Hangzhou, then it's Hangzhou, you know? So definitely if you transit from Hong Kong, you need to change the label, but that's something that many companies do. They offer the service of cross-docking. They relabel the parcel for you and they send them out from Hong Kong, for example. So you can consider that option if, for example, you have access to better prices or better couriers. I don't know, it can be any other courier, but for example, if your manufacturer doesn't have it, they can ship to Hong Kong, to a partner facility where you just pay for the labeling. It's maybe going to cost you even cheaper than shipping from China. You relocate to Hong Kong, you have someone just relabeling your parcels and ship it out from Hong Kong, where the hub is already in town. And that's going to take quite a faster time to let's say, deliver to the destination country. You may wonder, why do I need to relocate to Hong Kong? It's going to be the same thing as relocating to Shanghai airport. Yes, that's correct. That's the reason why. It's exactly the same. But the fact is that Hong Kong is a special administrative region, which means that you may have access to more couriers, for example, more courier hubs that China, or having different rates compared to China. So it may be a good option to consider. It really depends, as I said, from your, let's say, from your case. It depends on your case. So if you still need to waste 2 days to deliver to Shanghai, to the airport, after the factory ships out or your warehouse ships out, then at this point you ship it to Hong Kong, have someone relabel your parcel and ship them out with couriers that you may have access to that are cheaper or faster or whatever, you know. So that would be a good option, and it's also quite fast to deliver to Hong Kong, especially if your factory is in Guangdong, in the southeast south, I would say, of China. Third thing would be to use Express Couriers. However, I know you say this is so expensive, you can't use it, and whatever. I totally understand, but generally when you have a lot of volumes, or if your factory has a lot of volumes, generally they also have better rates. So this means that if you find a very big factories that are able to support you with express shipping, you may get access to very cheap rates compared to, let's say, general rates that you may have if you find it by yourself. So definitely it's good to have a third-party logistic, let's say, provider, because they get volumes, right, combined from many brands, and this means that you get access to those volumes that you could use strategically for your own, which means that the more volumes those partners have, the less they pay, and you get access to lower rates pretty much. So that's all for today. I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to our channel, leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the video, because this is going to help us grow and share more information with everyone. See you in the next video.